Okay, so let's get right into it. If you've spent any time on social media recently, I'm sure you've seen them. These viral lists of so-called secret codes for Claude AI. Phrases like slash God mode or beast mode that promise to unlock some kind of hidden, superpowered version of the model. Well, today we're going to crack that code. We're going to find out what's real, what's just a placebo, and what actually works. So let me just save you some time and cut right to the chase. There are no secret backdoor codes. There are no magic words, no hidden cheat codes that some developer at Anthropic left behind for us. Typing in a special phrase isn't going to unlock some unfiltered, all-powerful AI. But wait, the story doesn't end there. Because while there aren't any backdoors, a massive and, entirely fictional source code leak back in March of 2026 gave us this incredible look under the hood. And yeah, it debunked the myths, but it also revealed something way more powerful: how Claude actually thinks, and the techniques that genuinely get you better results. All right, first up, let's tackle these myths head on. I mean, if there are no secret backdoors, why do so many people swear that certain phrases totally change Claude's behavior? Well, the answer isn't magic. It's really more about psychology, both for you, the user, and for the AI itself. See, what people are calling secret codes are actually just prompt modifiers. They're basically shortcuts. They don't work because they unlock a hidden feature. They work because they give Claude a much clearer, more direct instruction. So think of it less like a cheat code and more like a very specific, very efficient way of framing your request. So the big question is, how do we actually separate what's real from what's just wishful thinking? How can we possibly know which of these modifiers work and which ones are just the AI equivalent of a sugar pill? Well, believe it or not, the answer comes from that massive accidental leak. Let's just step into our little fictional timeline for a second. Imagine a world where, for just a few short hours, the entire blueprint for one of the world's most advanced AIs was exposed for everyone to see. This is the story of the March 2026 leak. So here's how it all went down. On March 31st, 2026, a developer error accidentally bundled this huge source map file into a public release. Before anyone could take it down, it was everywhere. Developers all over the world started mirroring it, picking it apart, trying to finally understand the inner workings of Claude. And we are talking about a staggering amount of data. Over 500,000 lines of code. This wasn't just a peek behind the curtain. This was like getting the full architectural blueprints for the entire theater. The leak exposed basically everything: the entire system prompt that guides Claude's personality, a bunch of unreleased feature flags, even secret internal model code names. For people who engineer prompts, this was like finding the Rosetta Stone. So with this leaked source code as our guide, we can finally do some real investigation. We can take those viral lists of secret codes and test them against the actual inner workings of the model to see what's legit and what's just noise. And the results? They're pretty fascinating, as you can see in this breakdown. In the real effect column, you've got codes like L99 and /ghost that have a clear, measurable impact. In the middle, you have things like God mode that have a partial effect. They're more like signals for a certain tone. And then all the way on the right, in the pure placebo column, are the ones that really don't do anything at all. Let's look at a concrete example. L99 is what I call a depth code. Without it, Claude gives you a pretty typical non-committal overview. But if you just add L99 to the beginning of your prompt, it forces Claude to take a stand, give a deep opinionated answer, and actually back it up. It stops hedging its bets. Or take Ghost. This one is all about style. It strips away all that conversational fluff, the "here are some options for you" and the "I hope this helps" that makes AI writing feel so robotic. You just get the core output. It is incredibly useful for creative work. But look, these simple modifiers are just the beginning. The leak confirmed something way more important. The real power isn't in finding secret words. It's in structured instruction. This is where we go from simple tricks to some real engineering. Honestly, the single biggest upgrade you can make to your prompts is using XML tags. The leak confirmed that Claude was specifically built to understand these. It creates these super clear boundaries, telling the model exactly what is context, what is the task, and what is an example of what you want. And here's the basic recipe. You don't need every single tag every time, but by structuring your prompts this way, you move from just hoping for a good response to actually engineering one.
This is how you get reliable, consistent, high-quality results time after time.
Okay, but it gets even better. Beyond just structuring your prompts, the leak confirmed a feature that is probably the closest thing we have to a real God mode, and it's something called persistent memory. So here's how it works. Claude Code is hardwired to look for a file called claude.md in your project. This file is basically a permanent brain for your project. It stores your team's conventions, your tech stack, rules, all the stuff you get tired of explaining over and over. It is a genuine game changer.
So as we start to bring this all together, the journey we've taken is from seeking out these magic words to understanding that this is really about mastering a craft. It's about moving from cheat codes to discipline.
This quote from a Reddit user in one of our sources just absolutely nails it. A great prompt doesn't add any new intelligence to the model. The intelligence is already there. What a great prompt does is add constraints. It adds focus. It tells the model's vast intelligence exactly where to apply its power. So the ultimate takeaway here is that you are in control. The power doesn't come from finding a secret list of phrases on the internet. It comes from you developing the skill of giving clear, structured, and precise instructions. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. We started this whole journey looking for shortcuts, right? For hidden keys to unlock the AI's full potential. But what if the real key, the real power move, isn't about the answers we get, but about the quality of the questions we learn how to ask?